So if any of you guys thought I was joking when I said I will get out and ride whenever I can, do you believe me now? I was kind of thinking today that a good way to describe my relationship with my snowmobile and snowmobiling in general is that I absolutely love snowmobiling. My sled's okay. Whoa, look out, bird. I think there are definitely some people out there that love their snowmobile, and I mean, that's all right. You know, if you're more worried about your sled than you are worried about getting out and riding, then hey, I mean, I'm sure you guys probably spent a lot more on your sled than you did on, or than I did on mine. But I mean, you got to get out and ride them sometime, right? Even if the trails look like that. But it is just an absolutely beautiful night. I actually wasn't even gonna record, but I got out here and oh man, it's just too pretty out here not to. Such a nice night. So I don't know if this is really the first time that I'll have been riding this since I've been on the ZR. I guess at least the first time in a long time. I think I've done a couple of videos on both of them. Just go sit by the fire. But one of the most recent ones that I filmed anyway is when I went out and weighed them, or went in the garage, I guess, and weighed them. And it turns out that my big heavy 4-stroke is, I want to say only 30 pounds heavier. I guess 30 pounds is a lot. And now I honestly can't remember. I think they were really not all that far off in the front. Look at this. They're dirt mobiling today. Who's squirming in their chair right now? Not me, man. I love it. I'm so happy to be out. And I guess I probably should have mentioned that. Today, we were supposed to have a high like 45. I don't think it ever really got more than 40. But the sun was out all day. So obviously, our very thin base that we had to begin with is quickly disappearing. And, man, I checked the website like 6 times today. And now actually once even since I've been out on the trail. And they're still open. And I think what they're hoping for, which I guess is the same thing that I'm hoping for too, is that we have a supposedly big snowstorm coming. I always say I'll believe it when it's on the ground, thinking there must just have been leaving them open for anybody crazy enough to come out and ride the dirt today. And I probably would not be out here if it wasn't for my scratchers. Oh my gosh, I really did not realize how big of a difference these things make. And I guess I don't know why I didn't realize that. Seems like a pretty simple concept, but oh man, I love them. I don't think I'll ever ride without them. Where am I trying to go? All right, to the left. All right, I think so. Ah, look at this though. Gotta be able to get out and enjoy this. So back to the point of the video, sort of, other than just getting out here and enjoying the beautiful. Where does the trail go? This way, I guess. The beautiful trails, or I guess what's left of them, and the beautiful colors, is what is it like to jump back on my heavy, slow 4-stroke after riding the ZR6000 all winter? And honestly, I mean, it really is a big change, and I think a lot of it really is, I guess really the two biggest things I think are ergonomics and the sound. Obviously, if you guys have been watching the videos, you saw the drag race that my buddy Jim and I did. He was on this sled, I was on the ZR6000, and I mean, I guess you could say the ZR smoked this, but only off the line really. And after that, I mean, we kind of hung tight. This just, I don't know, it doesn't feel as peppy as a 2-stroke does. But I mean, I don't know. I guess I can't say that hopping on this I'm disappointed. Wow, look at this. Muddin'. Hey there, little guy. Where are you going? I gotta get out there. I'm gonna go real slow, alright? Hey, buddy. You can have your woods back. Sorry to bother you. Oh, man, look at those colors. I don't think I've been on this trail at all yet this year. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Mudding on a sled. like I said earlier, the ride is the important part, getting out here and enjoying it. And I mean, if you're going to come out here and, you know, worry about your sled the whole time, just riding on corn husks, corn stalks, you know, obviously then it's not going to be worth it. But I don't know, I think having an attitude that, you know, isn't going to jeopardize your sled is a good thing, but also having an attitude that isn't going to jeopardize how much you get to enjoy, you know, the sport that you spend all this money on, I think is good too. And I mean, yeah, slides and carbides aren't cheap, but neither are sleds, and the longer they sit in your garage collecting dust, the less they're going to be worth. So might as well get out and get some value out of them by enjoying them on the trails. I do, however, hope that we get a whole bunch of snow, so the trails at least can be open for a little bit longer, because if we don't get that snow, I mean, this is going to be it. This is going to be the last video, which honestly I'm actually really excited to get onto editing my motorcycle content for the year. I've got some stuff that I've got to do to the bikes, and hopefully some of you guys that watch year round are excited about that. But honestly, man, I'm kind of having a hard time letting snowmobiling go, and I actually told my wife like 4 days ago that I'm just kind of ready for it to warm up and for snowmobile season to be done. And then I think for the last 4 days I've been out at least once a day, if not a couple times a day. And look at me now, riding on dirt. Yeah, I don't know. It's just been a really fun year, and I think having the ZR has been absolutely awesome. And having all my new gear and the 360 cameras to play with and everything, and of course having all you guys watching, and especially having the patrons added support. That's always a really good way to get me out on the sled and to get me to kind of push the videos to the next level, and hopefully that's been noticeable. Really do want to say thank you to all my patrons. Your added support still kind of blows my mind, and just really do want to say thank you guys. If you guys are interested in becoming a patron, what that means is you can spend as little as $1 a month, and you can cancel it at any time if you don't like what you're getting. Obviously the money that you send my way goes right back into the channel. You will get early access to videos. Most of the time this year it's only been like a day or two early, but I do try to get them out to the patrons as soon as I can, so they have early access. Once in a while you do patrons only videos. It's been a while since I've done one, but just a couple perks. And if there's anything else that you guys think that I could provide to my patrons that would be enjoyable for you guys, feel free to let me know, and I do really appreciate you guys. Yeah, I think it's just the bomb, and I guess maybe if this had a different can on it, it would be better. But I don't know, it's definitely not, it's not a bad sound. And at low speeds it's better, I think. But I don't know, you get up to that cruising speed and it's just kind of bam, bam, bam. I've kind of always been that way with vehicles, and I suppose motorcycles too, that they don't really have to be fast, they just have to sound fast. And I don't like anything obnoxious, of course, but I don't know, having a nicely tuned exhaust system can definitely make any machine more enjoyable to ride, for sure. So I would definitely not discourage anyone from buying a 4-stroke. Obviously this is kind of just maybe a step below a 600 2-stroke. Obviously it's a bit more heavy, but there are definitely some nice things about it, and one of them, I guess nowadays it's not such a big deal, since 2-strokes are mostly going to be fuel injected, so they can kind of acclimate to weather like this. But I don't know, I guess I personally feel better doing this with a 4-stroke than I do a 2-stroke. And I mean, as long as there's some snow to scratch up, like right here wouldn't be so great, but as long as there's some snow to scratch up, you should be able to cool a 2-stroke down, as long as you've got the scratchers on there. And obviously you can burn out slides, but I think the thing is, with a 2-stroke versus a 4, the 2-stroke is kind of getting into like overheating territory, or at least a little bit too warm territory at like 150 degrees, where, I mean, a 4-stroke, I mean, this thing, I can run it all day without any snow, it seems like, before it'll go into the high temp mode and do the brum, 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 brum. And I mean, obviously that's not so great for the slides, but I don't know, I mean, it is kind of nice. I guess I'd rather wreck a pair of slides than an engine. I know the 2-strokes can last a long time nowadays, but they can also not last a long time these days too. I've heard about quite a few that have almost kind of turned me off to 2-strokes, maybe a little bit because of the ZR6000. Have been considering getting a 2-stroke. Also, just kind of be nice to have something a little lighter. I I do want to try a turbo 4-stroke just to kind of get a feel for it and, you know, communicate that to you guys, of course. But I don't know, there is something about like a switchback 800 or even maybe a Skidoo that I just kind of like. And I guess to me, I've always kind of been under the impression that Skidoo doesn't have a great track record for putting a lot of miles on before needing a rebuild. And I guess I always thought Polaris was a lot better. That Dragon that I had went like 13 or 14,000 miles without ever having a rebuild. And now, you know, when I sold it, obviously maybe the guy took it home and blew it up. I don't know. I should have kept in contact with him to see how many miles he got out of it. But you know, I mean, there could be flukes either way, in either a good way like that or a bad way, like a guy that I was just talking to the other day with a, look at that dirt, switchback 600, which should be a pretty reliable motor from Polaris. You know, not all that much different than the one I had in my Dragon. His blew at like 2,500 miles, I think, or something like that. So, man, I don't know. And I know 2-strokes are much easier to rebuild. 4-stroke has a lot more going on in it, but what? What does that mean? Huh? Is that not a trail this way? What's happening? Oh, that's not good. I'm hoping I have to ride through all this again. But the thing is, I mean, especially for somebody like me that doesn't really want to spend any time working on a sled, and I know if I want to do that I should buy a brand new one, but I mean, you'd think you should be able to buy a used sled with, you know, 2,000 miles on it and not have to worry about rebuilding it in the next, you know, 1,000 or so miles. But it kind of seems like maybe that's not the case. I mean, I've seen a couple of Skidoos actually that they're 2020s and they have 2,000 miles on them or 3,000 miles on them, and they're already on a rebuilt motor. Like I said already, you know, stuff can go wrong. Just because one lets go doesn't mean that they're all going to. And you know, obviously you don't necessarily hear about the stories about the ones that went right, unless it's a case like my Dragon. I mean, you never really know. You always kind of hear the worst case or best case scenarios, so it's hard to say. I know a lot of you guys want me to try a Skidoo. I definitely would kind of like to, but I don't know, something about a Polaris switchback kind of has me interested as well. One of the switchback Assault 800s actually has been kind of catching my eye for sale right now. So I don't know, we'll see. I don't know that I'll try to push for anything too much this year. I guess it'd be kind of nice to have something ready in the garage for next year, but I don't know, we'll keep you up to date, I guess. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, stay safe, stay swanky, get out and enjoy these trails while you still can. And if you can't, check out some more videos up at the top.